Hey, Lori Stevens to talk about pH and breathing. Most people don't know we make the pH of our body. Every tissue has its preferred pH, very narrow range of pH for the blood. It has to be 7.35 to 7.45 for the heart to work. So we will sacrifice our bone to buffer the pH if we're too acidic. We make our pH by breathing. And everybody is stuck in fight or flight these days because every toxin, what's in the air, what's in the water, what's in our food, what's in medicines, what's in chemicals, or in the environment, every toxin makes us hyperventilate, which makes us acidic pH. So breathing is really how your pH is controlled. You can eat acidic foods or basic foods. You can adjust your pH a little bit by eating or drinking, but that's temporarily. We breathe 30,000 times a day or so, about 30,000 times a day, and that breathing is what creates our pH. So there are workshops that you can take called Classical Buteyko Method. Now the internet is full of Buteyko Light, and that group comes from Patrick McEwen, who I know, and he'll tell you he does Buteyko Light, but I trained my breathing with Classical Buteyko method and changed my whole health pattern. I started to retrain my breathing because I had sleep apnea. And so anybody who snores or breathes heavy or breathes through their mouth or even clenching and grinding really are part of that airway issue, that sleep apnea issue. And so there's a great group of people who can help you reset the medulla oblongata's respiratory center in the brain to help you reset your pH, because in a neutral pH, we've all heard you can't get cancer or infection. So a neutral pH makes our self-healing body just go into self-cleaning mode, and then we heal from the inside out if we breathe right. So it's very interesting and very helpful with everything we see in the mouth. And I can tell in the mouth if your pH is off, because the tartar in your mouth comes from using your own bone to buffer your pH in the absence of enough buffering capacity of the blood. So tartar is the residue left over after you've used your bone to buffer your pH. So breathing is very important, and it is something that once you learn, you can do the rest of your life, these breathing exercises. Once your pH is reset to healthy, you can use that to cope with any kind of stress, physical, emotional, or chemical stressors to the body. So breathing is much more important than we think. It's much more complicated than we think.